It is Sunday, the 25th of September 2016. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. I'm just starting up my alternative spiritual practice of protesting against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy, which include, but are by no means limited to, Unitarian Universalists misusing Canada's blasphemy law in Bill Cosby-style legal bullying that seeks to cover up and deny such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. That vague language towards the end there actually is lifted straight from the arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letters that the Unitarian Universalist Association hired Stikeman Elliott, barristers and solicitors litigation lawyer, Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe, to have me served with in June of 2012, which, amongst other things, falsely accused me of the archaic criminal act of blasphemous libel. Yes, Canada still has a blasphemy law in the Canadian Criminal Code, for allegedly, and I do say allegedly, making unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. So that looks like John Inder going in there. And yeah, that's John Inder, former president of the church, who's very responsible for the fact that I'm still protesting here. There's many things John Inder could have done to ensure that my protest was responded to in a reasonable manner, but he chose not to. So anyway, this is the wayside pulpit of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. I like to refer to it as the wayward pulpit of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, because it's incredibly hypocritical and basically bullshit. But this is their mission statement, and you'll notice how incredibly vaguely worded it is. Our spiritual community welcomes, nurtures, inspires, challenges. Together we take action in the world. Well, some of the actions in the world taken by Montreal Unitarians is participating in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers. In fact, former president of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, John Inder, who we just saw walking into the church, is one of the people who's been actively involved in taking actions that seek to cover up and hide Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse of all kinds. The Unitarian Church of Montreal welcomes intolerant and abusive atheists who insult and abuse God-believing people. The Unitarian Church of Montreal nurtures intolerant and abusive fundamentalist atheists like Reverend Ray Drennan and Val Bourdon and Frank Green and others. The Unitarian Church of Montreal inspires, well, amongst other things, it inspires me to stand out here and protest against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy. But to some extent, I think the Unitarian Church of Montreal inspires idiots like David Horan to physically assault me. The Unitarian Church of Montreal challenges, well, it certainly challenges my protest. They challenge it almost every time I protest here, sometimes by calling in false reports to the SPVM to try and get the SPVM to shut down my protest. In fact, the Unitarian Church of Montreal, one of the actions it's taken in the world is to have me charged with the criminal act of disrupting the order and solemnity of church services. That's section 176.3 of the Canadian Criminal Code. In December of 2000, I was arrested for allegedly violating this law which prohibits disrupting the order and solemnity of church services. You know, I'm outside, I'm not making a lot of noise, got a few picket signs. At the time I wasn't using chalk slogans. You know, basically a very peaceful public protest, virtually no noise, outside the Unitarian Church of Montreal, and yet the leadership of the Unitarian Church of Montreal very cynically and outrageously hypocritically used, I should say misused, section 176.3 of the Canadian Criminal Code in basically malicious prosecution that was clearly intended to shut down my protest in front of the church and punish me for protesting by possibly even, okay, my phone's ringing, spending some time in jail. So I'm going to answer the phone and we'll get back to this later.